After barely 3 weeks, Squid Game has not only become the most popular Korean drama in Netflix's history, but also the most popular show in all of Netflix history. And honestly, the show lives up to its hype. If you haven't seen it already, then what are you doing? Go on and watch it. Plus, I don't want to spoil it for you because today we are looking at the top 10 scary Squid Game hidden secrets. From foreshadowing to set design secrets. Let's talk about it all only in today's video. Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host, Lindsay Ivan. Let me know in the comments below. Have you seen Squid Games? If so, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm excited. I'll reply to you. With that being said, smash that like button, obviously subscribe to our channel, and we'll get on with the video. Starting off this countdown, we had the set design. Honestly, the entire set of Squid Games was amazing. From those bright, colorful stairs to the elaborate playing fields, it's pretty incredible. Well, the director of Squid Games actually shared some insight on one of the rooms, and that's the player's sleeping area. According to him, the design was the art director's idea. She proposed a warehouse store concept. The director said, and I quote, "Rather than treating them like people, she suggested the contestants be presented like objects piled on the warehouse shelves. And that's why the beds literally look like shelving units. Isn't that insane? I think so." In our ninth spot, we have the Tug of War. Turns out that the Squid Game director had lots of fun including little Easter eggs for us in the show. If we paid more attention to them, then we could have realized that, spoiler alert, the old man or player 1 was the mastermind behind this all from the start. One TikTok user found a pretty big clue in episode 4 during the Tug of War scene. Not only did the old man have a perfect strategy in order to win the game against a very strong team, but he wasn't even properly shackled in during the game. So everyone has handcuffs on that are locked onto the rope, right? That way they can't let go of the rope, and when they get pulled over the platform, they will ultimately fall to their death. But check this out, the old man was never fully locked in. As you can see, the old man's shackles are different than the ones his teammates wore. Every single team member has a lock on their shackles except for the old man. We really need to pay more close attention during shows. That completely went over my head, but it's a nice little detail. In our 8th spot, we have the tracksuits. Fun fact, the participants weren't always going to wear tracksuits. I believe the writer originally wanted them to be in school uniforms. Anyways, that's not what we're going to be talking about. Instead, this is a little behind the scenes secret. According to the director, a number of cast members were actually allergic to their own tracksuits. The director said the material is similar to old gym clothes, which means they can become really dusty really fast. So some cast members were actually reacting badly to this and were having difficulty breathing. Others had their faces turning red and bumpy. That must have been rough. Like, I can't imagine long days on set wearing that dusty old tracksuit. In our 7th spot, we have the password. So in the first episode, after you receive the card from that good-looking man at the subway station, there's a number on it for you to call. Once you do, it tells you a location to go to in order to get into the game. Well, when the van comes to pick up the main dude, Jihan, player 456, it asks for the password. Well, guess what the password was? Red light, green light. Also the very first game that they were playing. Very subtle, but great foreshadow. In our 6th spot, we have the drawings on the wall. When the players wake up from the knockout gas, they find themselves in a tracksuit and in a room filled with other players and tons of bunk-style beds. As the game continues and more people die, the beds are slowly removed. Once the beds are removed from the room, we can see that they were actually blocking drawings that were on the walls. These drawings literally show the audience and participants what the next game is going to be. One part of the wall shows 2 people kneeling down with a bunch of marbles around them, while another person stands guard. This was the marble game. There's also a drawing of 4 people holding onto the shapes from the honeycomb game. You got the people playing Tug of War and a person with their back turned and other people creeping up behind them, aka the red light green light game. So on and so on. It's a bit frustrating because if the players literally just checked the wall, they would have known what the next game would have been. So, we're now at our 5th and halfway mark with the old man. Alright, buckle your seatbelts for this one, okay? But the show gave us so many hints pointing at the fact the old man was in on it from the start. For starters, during the first game, red light, green light, the old man seems to be having a little too much fun playing the game. People are getting shot and dying around him, but he's just standing there smiling. I noticed that right away and I was like, okay, is he sadistic or like what's going on with him? Not only that, but when the giant robot doll is scanning looking for people people who are moving, you can see it totally skips over the old man. I mean, if you watch him, he doesn't even stay perfectly still, but the doll never locks onto him and shoots him. That right there is a huge giveaway. Next up, while others remain frozen in fear, the old man was like, hey, let's keep going, let's play this game, and he started moving across the field again. Probably because he knows he'll never be killed by the doll, so he has nothing to lose. Pretty crazy, am I right? They literally left in so many Easter eggs. In our fourth spot, we have the tiebreaker. One part of the game is that if players want to leave at any point, they can. Just all the players have to vote, and if a majority of the people voted to leave the game, then they will get what they asked for and they'll be sent home, but they don't get the money. This happened after game 1. The players were all frantic and wanted to leave, so they took a vote. In the end, the votes were tied and it was up to player 1, the old man, to decide to keep playing or to go home. He voted to go home, which didn't make sense to me because if he was behind this all, wouldn't he want to keep playing? Well, let me explain the reasoning behind this. I think there's two main reasons. One is that he wanted to keep the game fair at all costs. The leader preaches this a lot throughout the series, like when he killed the doctor for getting insight into the games, among other things, or when that annoying babe girl, you know, player 212, she doesn't have a partner for one of the games. Instead of being killed, he lets her live. Why? It's not her fault that there were an odd number of players. If he killed her for simply not having a partner, it wouldn't be fair. So he voted to leave the game to keep it fair. Another reason could be because the stakes would be raised between the people that did return. By returning, you already know it's either you win the money or die. This ups the competitiveness and intensity of the games, so he knows it would be more entertaining, and as we know, he needs to keep it entertaining for the VIPs watching the show. In our third spot, we have the deaths. So apparently the way in which the main characters died were foreshadowed in earlier episodes. Let's start with the big meanie with the snake tattoo on his neck. Well, in episode 2, we see him jump off a bridge in order to evade debt collectors who were going to kill him. Guess what? He died after falling off of a glass bridge in episode 7. Then we have our favorite, player 67. In an earlier episode, she threatens a man by holding a knife to his throat. And in a shocking turn of events, she dies after getting her throat cut by a knife. Next up, we have the police officer, or Jun Ho. Now, we don't know for sure if he's alive or dead. I mean, he got shot, but we never saw a dead body, so my theory is that he never died. Anyways, in episode 3, Jun Ho kills the driver of the van and throws him overboard. This foreshadows his possible death, since he fell over a cliff and into the water. Then we have Ali. He stole money from his employer, and then he died after his partner in the marbles game stole all his marbles, which pissed me off. I hated that scene, like if you are on the same page as me. Anyway, then we have Cho Sang, who is the real villain of this show. Hate him, sorry. He tried to take his own life in an earlier episode in the bathtub. During the final game, he kills himself while rain pours down on him. So I'm just gonna say, that's some eerie and accurate foreshadowing. Pretty crazy, if you ask me. In our second spot, we have no record. In a heart-pounding scene, we see the police officer successfully break into the mastermind's archive room. And there is every single record of every competition they have ever held, including all the previous participants and winners. Well, in the scene, he chooses to look through the current book of participants in hopes to find his brother. But what you may have missed is that the book starts at player 2. There's no record of player 1, the old man. It's obvious because he's the creator of the games. He doesn't need a profile on himself. But this was a huge clue for us. I certainly didn't catch on to it, but if you did, you might have guessed early on that the old man was not as innocent as he claimed to be. And in our number 1 spot today, we have the coffins. Ever wonder why the dead players were placed in coffins that literally looked like giant gift boxes? I mean, they were placed in black boxes with pink bows. That's pretty unusual, right? Well, first off, people realized that the gift in episode 1 that Jihan, player 456, gave to his daughter is wrapped up the same way. And what was in that box? A gun. Dude, if that's not foreshadowing, then I don't know what is. Second, according to the show's art director, they chose to do coffin-like gift boxes because the creator of the games thinks that he's God and that he's giving a gift to the players by giving them the opportunity to win a crap ton of money. That's insane. How many times have I said insane in this video? Let me know in the comments below. But I'm loving all the details that they put into this show. Alright guys, that's all for today's video. Let me know in the comments below who's your favorite character if you've seen this show and why. With that being said, why don't you give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10 for more amazing videos. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan, and I'll see you when I see you.